Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. You probably thoroughly enjoyed the interview with Tricia Sciortino, the CEO. I'm so glad that she has given us an opportunity to talk to her a second time, and just so much I could talk about with this leader and this person who's made such a difference in life and ministry and organizational leadership. But let's always remember, Belay is the one that is sponsoring this podcast. I cannot tell you how excited I was when Belay agreed to be the founding sponsor, exclusive sponsor of the Church Answers podcast. And now to have the opportunity to interview the CEO is a very, very rare opportunity. All the information that you need about Belay, you can go to belaysolutions.com. They know you got a ton of things to do if you're a pastor, sermons, outreach, groups, youth groups, finances, reporting, counseling, the list goes on and on. Get Belay to take some of those things off of you that a virtual assistant can. It's a team member that is just going to add so much to your ministry, to your church, and to your life. And now, let's go back to our interview with Tricia Sciortino, the CEO of Belay. If you did not listen to the previous podcast, go back and listen to it. It was quick, but it was powerful. And listen to Tricia Sciortino, the CEO of Belay. But she has been kind enough to stay for a second podcast. Welcome back, Tricia.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
I want to talk to you about you for just a moment. We have a lot of leaders that listen to this podcast, a lot of them in church, a lot of them in other places. Now, your story is fascinating. You were Belay's first employee. You were first virtual assistant. And now you're the CEO. Something's happened between then and now. Can you give us a little bit of the story there?
A little bit has happened between then and there. You're absolutely right. It's been an amazing journey these last few years. When I joined Belay back in 2010 as a virtual assistant, at the time I didn't know where my career path would take me, but through a lot of tenacity, hard work, perseverance, and just really getting my footings under myself for many, many years, I just had amazing opportunity to continue to rise up throughout the organization, if you will. I, started as a VA, and then I moved to a manager. And then from a manager, I was able to be a director of a department. And I've led different departments, from the talent department to operations to client experience. Then I had the opportunity to be a vice president of multiple departments, and then ended up as president, and then COO, and now today CEO. And it certainly hasn't been without its, pivotal moments and leadership lessons all along the way. It certainly sounds like it was a dream ride, but it was a lot of hard work, and there was a lot of overcoming doubt or overcoming the no's. I think, there were certainly times throughout the journey where, I hit walls and it looked like things weren't going to happen for me. But, you persevere and you take things from a different angle, and you overcome. And so my journey is just a lot of not taking no for an answer and finding another way to make something happen.
I hear two key words in your leadership testimony just then. I heard perseverance, and its first cousin, tenacity. And it seems as if the leaders who are listening to this podcast, many of them are pastors. And as you probably know, a lot of pastors and staff are getting beaten up today in just so many ways, more so since COVID, but even before then. And sometimes leadership is just getting up the next day and doing it again. And that's what am I translating you correctly, or am I summarizing you unfairly?
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. I think, leadership is very much a stewardship. I'm not trying to say that to be cliche, but I feel like it's something you're called to do, very much like pastoring a church. Is that it's never been an option for me to not show up and put my best foot forward every morning. It's never been an option for me to quit. I always felt like people were counting on me. I had things that I felt like needed to be accomplished and done. I just never, the option of not doing it was never really an option, because I truly felt like this is where I'm called to be. And honestly, I really enjoy and get so much fulfillment out of the end result. I'm so fulfilled by my work, and it's a blessing.
Wow. That is a great, great, great story. So, tenacity, perseverance, and you're where you are today. And there are those who are listening to you right now, and they're saying, I just have so many things I have to do. I am so incredibly busy. And Tricia is giving us a story of someone who not only overcame the busyness, but also learned to overcome the no. Let me just, before we wrap this quick podcast up, let me hit those 2 points really quickly. Uh, what did you mean by overcoming the no? Was it self-doubt or was it others who doubted you?
It's others who doubted me. I think
Wow.
there were a lot of times when I had goals or ambitions and it was received with a no, that's not really going to work out for you because of XYZ reason. I'm like, oh, I have some professional development I need to walk through myself. I took a lot of those as opportunities to develop myself. I believe professional development is ours to own. It's not for a boss to teach us or a mentor to take us on the way. It is our journey. And so I use those opportunities to really invest in myself, learn new skills, hard and soft, so that I was ready next time when something came down for me.
And how about all the hats you have to wear?
The
I
hats,
know a
yeah.
CEO has a lot of hats to wear.
There's a lot of hats, and the number one thing about the hats is, nothing is possible without the people and the ability to delegate appropriately. So I think, like, you want to be successful in anything you're doing and leading anything, you've got to be surrounded by the right people, and you have got to figure out how to trust them and delegate to them. Now, that could be an executive pastor, that could be a CFO, that could be officers and other managers. It could be a virtual assistant, whatever that looks like. Surrounding yourself with the right people is so important. We are not meant to do this alone. This is a journey we go on with others. And then you can surround yourself with those great people, but figuring out how to leverage them and empowering them and gifting them with the opportunity to take things off your plate so that you are truly doing the things that only you should be doing and not
Mm,
getting dragged into the weeds with those other things. So you got to find the right people, and then you have to figure out how to take those things off your plate and put it on their plate so that you can keep focusing on the things that matter.
those are some nuggets. Love it. You're listening to Tricia Sciortino, the CEO of Belay. You got a lot of Belay fans listening to you right now, so they're cheering you on even as you are speaking. Tricia, any last words to those out there who are using Belay, or perhaps some who are considering it? Let us hear from you about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thank you for having us, Thom. Thanks for being such an advocate and a fan. It's been great partnering with you for these many, many years. I think that, if you're looking for help and there are things that you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing, we would love to help you with that. Reach out to Belay, belaysolutions.com. Regardless of whether or not we wind up working together or not, we really want to help leaders figure out how to get to the next level.
I love it. Thank you, Tricia. And once again, she gave you the website. Let me give it to you, belaysolutions.com. It is also in your show notes. Tricia, this has been quick. We'll have you back again in the very near future. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks.
And we'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you for being a part of this interviewing Tricia Sciortino, the CEO of Belay. Well, you got to know that it was worth having 2 interviews with Tricia. That was fantastic to get that information about how she had come up from the bottom of the organization to the top. And it was not always easy. Good leadership lessons for us. She not only had to overcome the doubt of others, but she had to just stick with it, persevere. Her tenacity has been incredible, and that's why she is where she is today. Always, I want to thank Belay for being our founding sponsor. Go to belaysolutions.com in the show notes, or just go to belaysolutions.com and look at all the types of virtual help that they can offer you. I have personally used virtual assistants for years and years and years, and I can attest to what a great, great organization they are and how they have helped us at Church Answers, and they continue to be a critical part of our team. Once again, thank you for being a part of the Church Answers podcast. Continue to listen. We got more coming in these short bursts of roughly 10 minutes. See you later. Hey, folks, this is a PS to our podcast. We got some exciting stuff that we want to offer you absolutely for free. Sam, when you think about predictive factors in a church's growth, if you take out demographics, what are some things that come to mind? Just two. I mean, don't give me a list of 10. Just two or three things that come to mind on predictive growth of a church.
Well, evangelism and whether the church is doing it or not.
Bingo.
And then I will add, is it an ongoing evangelism emphasis?
Double bingo. Well. And maybe something about leadership and their commitment to that. So all of the above.
Evangelistic churches have evangelistic pastors. Is the staff, is the lead pastor doing the work themselves?
We have a free download for you, and it's actually a sheet that you can self-score. You answer 20 questions, anywhere from strongly disagree to strongly agree, and we come back and we predict what your growth rate is going to be for the next year in worship attendance. It's not a perfect tool, but it's a good tool. There's a link to that for the attendance predictor. Look in the show notes. You'll absolutely love it. That's cool. We'll see you soon.